Okay, so take two. I'm really sorry that I'm late. I started this whole blurb, but I was on the Art Alchemy East site because I manage a couple of different sites. Excuse me. And I'm really trying to promote a lot of the artists that are doing the Pirate Squared through Art Alchemy. So anyway, I apologize for being late. I started this whole ramble and now I can back on the right site. So just wanted to first of all say thank you so much for joining me, and a couple of really exciting things happening. So first of all, if you're enjoying these podcasts or if you enjoy these interviews, it would be really great if you could go on to where you watch your podcast, Apple Podcast or Spotify. And if you can just subscribe and like it. And if you can share it, that would be really awesome. The reason I do these is because I think that every single conversation, I learn so much from other artists on how to improve my business practice, my techniques, my Instagram stories, whatever. And I just want to get that word out to as many people as possible. So if you can help me, that would be great. Another quick thing is that the Pirate Squared show is coming along really nicely. We have lots of really, really cool things happening. I can really see some of the process videos are just starting off. We had the unboxing and now we've got the things actually starting to really take shape, some of the pieces. So with 75 artists, and it looks like we will definitely have over 200 pieces of round 12-inch pieces of art to choose from. There is truly something for everybody. And also wanted to show off my awesome shirt. Thanks to Jill Hobson for making those for us alchemists in our kind of signature pink color, which is really cool. Anyway, without ado, I'm going to jump right in and basically introduce Christina Sodano. This is episode 85, and I look forward to chatting with her. So let's bring her right on. And the Noodle Show is still on if you're interested in that as well, up at Alton Mills. That's the show I'm doing with my sister, so it's cool. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. So sorry I screwed up this morning. I started this interview. I'm like, oh my God, I'm on the wrong Instagram account. That doesn't help.
That's okay. It's all good now.
It is, yeah. So welcome. I'm glad. Thank you for waking up early in the morning because I know it's early your time.
Oh, that's right. Nope, I'm well on my way already. So
oh, good. Okay.
I'm an early riser, and I'm all good.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Yeah, I'm late, so I'm always scrambling till about noon, but that's just
well, thank you for inviting me to do this interview.
I'm really excited. So, I mean, and I think that your name is familiar to me, and we sort of like, I think, rolled around in similar shows and stuff like that. But I think it was really when I really loved your video you did for the Women X.
Oh, right.
Piece. Yeah, the history of joy, which was, I think that was a really cool, it was a cool video. I thought it was really interesting how all 5 of us artists had such a different sort of expression of our joy, but that fundamentally it all came down to kind of that joy and harmony and kind of nature, which is really cool.
Yeah, it was wonderful to see everybody's interpretation also of each of the videos. And I loved it that I could bring in some of my other passions besides art into, my yard and nature and just everything else that I love, where I bring that into my studio, which I find is not only with my abstracts, but all of my landscapes too.
So I have to ask you a question because, we had to obviously shoot this ourselves, and then we sent them in, and then they did the editing and made it really beautiful. And your video looked really great. It looked really professional. So how long did it take you to do that?
I hired somebody.
Oh,
I didn't.
You're smart. I should have done that.
She approached me. It's a neighbor of mine who's fantastic. She does wonderful branding of different businesses, and personal branding. And she contacted me because she is going back and getting another master's in photography. And she wanted to ask if I could pose for her for photographs. And I said, well, this is perfect timing because I need a video. So you could help me out. I'll help you out. And it was all wonderful. So she came over with another young woman, and they photographed me throughout the day. And we did the video in my studio, walking into my yard like you saw. And so she is fantastic. Anna Rose Monroe.
Anna Rose.
Rose Monroe
excellent.
Photography. She's a wonderful photographer that lives up the street from me.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Because I did it. My sister was with me at the cottage because we were preparing for this show we were doing. But the problem is that I think half the takes we just started laughing because I just was so goofy. And then we had one that was pretty good. And then it's like this huge raven came in. So there's this really loud, raucous bird cry in the background. I'm like, a loon would have been okay, but a raven, not so much. But anyway, you were awesome. And I really love your work.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So maybe you can share a little bit about, you have a very interesting pathway to becoming a professional artist. And I love the fact that you won Best in Show in the 5 to 10 category. So obviously something that's been you've been very passionate about for a long time, but maybe you can share your story.
Yes. Okay. Sure. I know it sounds a little cliche, but like when I was a little girl, starting at 8 years old, my parents got me involved in private art lessons. So ever since then, I have been involved in the arts one way or the other, if as an artist or for myself, representing different artists throughout the country, selling the artwork to interior designers, furniture companies, other galleries, whatever it might be. And then also currently I am teaching private art lessons. So that has come around, where I teach private art lessons to young adults that are on the spectrum. So not only am I working on my own art and getting it out there into galleries, I'll be attending High Point Market this beginning of April. So I'm going into the design field, but with galleries. And I also really enjoy teaching them. And I feel like I'm giving back in my way, and helping them. And it really has improved each one individually and differently as a person. So I love that. I think
that's so cool. So let's kind of unpack a little bit about that. So if your parents invested in private art lessons at age 8, that's pretty young. So obviously you must have had some talent. Do you come from a family that is creative or artistic, or did they just recognize something in you?
Not really. I just enjoyed it. I just enjoyed drawing, and my mother knew of another artist friend that she had and turned me on to a group, and they just pointed me in the direction to for this one particular woman who I loved her so dearly. So I stayed with her the entire time growing up. Just from her, we've done every medium possible, throughout the years. And then, of course, high school, I kind of slowed down on the art lessons because I got involved in other things, sports and all. And then college, I attended Moore College of Art in Philadelphia. So that was wonderful. That was a great experience. And so that's how it all began. I also, my father told me when I was going to college, he said, okay, you better figure out how to make a living, because you're not going to draw pretty pictures the rest of your life and support yourself, right? So I was like, a very classic response, which is really hard, I think, when it's kind of like you have all this support around you as you're growing up, and you kind of start to feel like, I really could be an artist, and all of a sudden it's like the rug's pulled out from under you. It's like you can be an artist, but you can't make any money at that. And so such an unfortunate trope that kind of we all believe into. Do your passion, but you better make money at it. So I concentrated a lot on advertising in college. So when I graduated, I worked for a couple different advertising agencies and making money. Then I moved away from home, and that work brought me to working in different galleries and creating my own work. And then it went from there.
That's awesome. And I think that, so I also spent a number of years in advertising, and I think that that's not an unusual career path for people that are creative. And I see so often advertising and then kind of going back into becoming a professional artist often, at the end of your advertising career.
Absolutely. I always kept drawing, painting, the arts. I've always kept it in my life, one way or the other. Even when I was raising my children, I really backed off of my work, but I did keep painting while they were at school. I kept painting, and I did a lot of murals, in the nearby area. I did. I definitely kept some of the art going, for sure. And now it's my time. So the last 5-6 years, whatever it's been, I've been really going crazy getting back into my work. I built a studio off the back of our home. So it's great. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
it's really nice to be able to kind of, I think there also is something nice about maybe coming into being a professional artist a little bit later in life, because
Hmm.
you have some of that business experience that you can kind of really bring to the table. So it
Yeah.
truly can become a career as opposed to a hobby, or,
Hmm.
you know, if you want to make it that way, but often
Absolutely.
that's nice to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. But when you had started off earlier talking about crossing paths, there was probably 4 years ago, I had noticed you there at the San Diego Art Show. You did a
Oh, yeah,
fantastic job. It was a very successful show for you. I remember.
it
Do you
was. It
remember
was
that? It was before,
overwhelming.
yeah, before COVID.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of those
Yeah.
ones. And it's so funny because I'm like, yeah, I did not have a crate to send home. I sold everything out of my booth, right?
Isn't that
And it's so
fantastic?
funny because people are like, oh, do you do that all the time? I'm like, are you kidding me? I wish, but no, I don't do that every time. I never do
Right,
that except for
right.
San Diego.
That's great. That is wonderful.
It,
Hey.
it was great. Yeah. And so I'm really excited to go back to San Diego this year. And I guess you are as well, right? In September?
No, I'm not going to do San Diego. I am going to
Oh,
do the Hamptons. I am going to do New York, and I am going to do Santa Fe.
oh, Santa Fe. That sounds like fun.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And then for the spring coming up, like I was saying at the beginning of April, and in October, I will be doing the High Point Market. So
Hmm.
that's pretty huge right now. So
Yeah.
I'm focusing on that in my life right now. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah. It's
very
kind of,
exciting.
I think this, and all the schedule, I guess, got screwed up too. Like I find used to
Mhm.
know certain shows were in certain months and you could kind of plan around
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
I've had two big art fairs that have moved to April this year, so I'm doing three
Mm.
art fairs in 3 weeks. I'm
Oh,
like, I don't know
wow.
how I'm actually going to do
Wow.
that yet, but
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
friends, if you don't see me for the next 2 months, you'll know why. Um,
She's busy.
that's right. You're a crazy woman. So
Right.
I loved when we talked earlier. I loved how you were talking about the fact that you were an art consultant for a while, which I think I'd love to hear more about it. But I think it's also really awesome that allows you to really be able to see the art business experience from both sides, as the artist, as
Mhm.
someone who's selling the art, from what the client needs are, how to kind of have those conversations with clients. Can you maybe talk about that a bit?
Yes. I really enjoy that part. Um, let's look at it this way. I create paintings all the time, whatever the medium might be. I mostly work in mixed media, acrylics, a molding paste, pastels, pencils, watercolor, everything's all mixed together. Okay. Add in different types of papers, even newspaper at times. Okay. Newspaper
Mm.
clippings I put in there. So I do a lot of mixed media work. Now, which is then off to the shows or whatever it might be, or online and selling that way. For instance, later on today, this is the part I love about the consulting is with an interior designer locally here in my town. I'll be going off to a personal home, and they saw paintings of mine, actually a painting of mine that is hanging in the Palm Beach Art Show right now, and they
Mm.
absolutely love it. They want a painting right now. So I'm loading up my car with a number of my paintings and heading over to their home later on today, where this is the part I love. Not only do I get to do a custom painting for them, I'm bringing them in my artwork. I am showing them it hanging on the wall, working with whatever paintings maybe work for that space. She might see something that they love, but it's the wrong size. Or maybe they want a little bit more blue or green into it, whatever that might be.
Hmm.
I love doing a custom painting that way. So I'll come back today. I'll see what they want. I'll be able to do the size that works appropriately for them, add the colors in, the texturing that I put in my artwork, everything. And then they get to participate in the process as much as they want. Some clients have said, "Hey, you just paint. You do what you want, and it's going to be great. I'm going to love it." Some want to see weekly the progress.
Yeah.
I've had
Yeah.
clients come over to my studio every few days to see what I've done and participate in that and give me feedback. And that's great. because I love that. And they get something at the end that's very personal to them, something
Yeah.
that's creative for them. So representing, either if it's my work or like I've done in the past, 25 different artists throughout the country with my connections of, like I was saying, galleries, furniture companies, designers, whatever it might be. I'm still doing custom work for them. And I enjoy that process.
I
It's
do
like,
too. I am totally with you.
mm-hmm,
Like I probably
mm-hmm,
about 30% of my work is commissions for the same reason. Like I love
yeah.
that part of it. And it is definitely interesting how you have some people that just are not inherently creative. Well, they think they're not. I think everyone's creative. But for them to be part of a creative process
Mm-hmm,
is so powerful for them. And it's a
mm-hmm.
gift that as artists we can also share with them, that they end up having something on their wall that they feel there's a little piece of them that's in it too, which I think is just awesome.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
true.
love that a lot. I know a
That's
lot of
true.
artists who don't like that idea of being kind of told what to do, whereas I feel like it's more a collaboration.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
and I think I'm sure you find this too, is that sometimes it pushes you into a different direction. Like I'm doing a series right now. Usually my stuff's all about strong, bright jewel tones, and I'm doing a
Hmm.
bunch that are now basically on white backgrounds, and they're very subtle and they're very soft. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it took a while to wrap my head around how to make that work for me because it's
Yeah.
not something I usually do, but now I'm just kind of addicted to them. I love them.
Yeah. Yes. Because the subtle paintings and palette.
Yeah, for a
Yeah.
bit, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Because
sure I'll go
your
back to
work,
bold because I like that too.
yeah, your work tends to be extremely colorful and beautiful in those ways.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a really fun thing to do.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so do you do a lot of work in the design, like into design? It sounds like you've got a lot of connections into designers, into the design community. You understand how to speak their language. So I'm sure that they love working with you as an artist.
I do enjoy that. And I enjoy interior design. So the best part is I get to go to these wonderful, beautiful homes
I
and see
know.
the interiors. It's great.
I love that too. I know
Yeah, I'm looking
there's a
forward
little
to
bit of a
it.
nosiness too. It's like, oh my God, you did that with your house. That looks awesome.
Yeah, that's
When I was in the
great.
middle of doing my kitchen renovation, it happened that I was delivering a lot of art to these brand new homes that just had these kitchen renovations. And I remember one woman, she's like, feel free to open every cupboard, every drawer, ask me any question about my renovation. And I'm like, okay, I'm taking you up on that. It was
Right,
awesome.
right. There you
Yeah,
go.
it was really good.
There you go. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
You had said something earlier about when we do our custom work, and have it collaborated with our clients. It reminds me of a young couple that I did a painting for them. They had just been married a year and they commissioned me to do a painting. And what I did is I surprised them, and in the molding paste, the texture, I printed their names. I carved their
Oh,
names
cool.
in. Yeah. So it was interesting when they came to look at the last step and if they noticed or not. Because then I painted
Yeah,
some with it and, worked my technique into it.
that's
Yeah. It's kind
that's
of
really
fun.
neat.
Yeah.
I did it. My husband and I did a commission with an artist, and he does almost like these colorful, surreal cityscapes a little bit,
Hmm.
almost like a map, like a Google map sort of thing. And so he
Oh,
did Toronto because we live in Toronto. And at the end, he said, I've hidden all of your names in the piece of art, but he
yeah.
wouldn't tell us where they were, right?
That,
So we still have only found three of them. We can't find my name. And it's so interesting because
really?
he said, I guarantee you it's in there. I'm like, I can't find it. It drives me crazy. But it's very interesting, because you look
Yeah.
at it and he's marked all the key, like, where our house is, where our kids went to school, where my husband grew up, like all these things are on this map too. And it's such a personal
Oh.
thing, but
That
I'll have to,
is, yes, it's very personal. So that's part of the joy too, right? For the custom work.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
yeah, I think that's really
absolutely.
fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
And so you're headed off to this, I think, like an interior design show now, right? Or fairly
Yes.
soon?
So the first week of April, April 2nd through 6th, is the High Point Market. That is all aimed towards the trade, interior designers, furniture companies, whatever, anything on the trade. So this will be my first show there. I have been there in the past, but now I have a showroom that I plan to continue for a while now. Um, and yes, it will all be selling to the trade and working with the designers. And that's what I'm looking forward to, especially as my first show, creating those
Yeah.
contacts again, reintroducing all of those relations and moving forward. So they might come and view my space, my showroom, and not purchase anything on that day, but they know my look. They have me under their, in their mind about maybe a particular painting they want when they finally design a living room, a dining room, whatever it might be. Yeah. So it's all just about building the relationships and then doing the work later in the future, or calling up and saying, hey, I love that painting. Is it still available? It will work in this space. So I'm
So
looking forward to that.
tactically tell me, let me help me understand this a bit. So it's like you have a retail store within this structure or this building, or?
Yeah. So High Point consists of about 7 different buildings. Many
Wow.
furniture companies, all the, if it's wall colorings, fabrics, whatever it might be, is all knickknacks, anything that is in your interior, flooring, fireplace mantles, whatever it might be, are all positioned in certain buildings appropriately. So I will be in it's called the Suites at Market Square. And that is aimed towards where a lot of the artists are there, the fine artists. There's, reproduction art also, and posters, prints, and all. But so I'm aimed in the Suites at Market Square. What they will do is come and view the work, like I was saying. So it is just working with the trade, working.
And so you have in your space then, it's only your work though, right? So you manage your space and how it's hung. And do you have to put furniture in there as well, or is it just set up like an art gallery?
Right. So just like the shows that you and I have done before in the past, the San Diego Art Show, you have your booth there. Mine is same type of feel, but much, much larger. So I have a large, what we are referring to as a showroom there. My art will be hanging. I'll have a little, little table and a couple chairs and all. And I do not put furniture in there. But what I will do and try to do is, there's furniture companies in the same building, bring some of the artwork and hang it in their showroom. So not only does it enhance their furniture, it also gives me another viewing option for the client to see.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So
so how many pieces of art would be there then? How many pieces of art do you have to produce for that?
So mine tend to be fairly large. My paintings tend to be fairly large. I will have smaller ones that are, maybe 18 by 24 for that particular client that wants a small one. So I need a lot of space, and I also maybe don't have as much art as somebody else, but I'm going to be shipping around 20 paintings there. So 20 paintings in a crate. It's an investment.
Yes, I know. I was just, and so you stay there and you manage those relationships for the week that the show is open, and then it's closed.
That's right. High Point closes down, and then we'll start again in October. So I don't remember the dates for October. Yes. Yeah. I might keep some of the paintings there. I might bring some back. I'll see how they're received, from the different clients, and I'll see how it goes. And like I said, this first show is all about creating the relationships, making it work. But High Point itself does a fantastic job at marketing. And they know I'm new to the market, and they have been on it with me, giving me every option for advertising, marketing, anything. So it's been a lot of work. I'm not fond, maybe like some artists, they love doing the marketing. I don't like it.
I don't think anybody really loves doing that. I think it's something you have to do, right?
Yeah, as an artist, we don't love it, right? As an artist, but there are many marketers out there.
I don't know, like I'm a marketer. I have no problem promoting other people's work. It's just very different when you're promoting your own work, right? Because it feels like, oh my God, look how amazing I am. Come and see how brilliant I am. I think that's where it's hard,
Oh, that's right. I remember knowing you have that background. So it's easy for you. I struggle with that.
Yeah, it's one thing to know what to do. It's another thing to actually do it, though.
Yes. Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
I hope that works out for you.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, me too. No, I have a friend here who is going back to school. And she asked if she could use my work and my business and myself for a project she's doing. So I'm pretty
Hmm.
fortunate right now. She's working on that to
Wow.
create all the different social media and anything that I need out there. She is working on for her project, for at school, so at college. So I get another freebie on that. So I'm looking forward to that
That's great.
too.
But also you must obviously be very open to collaborations too. Like to have
Oh yeah.
people come to you, they know that you're going to be open to that experience. And
Mm-hmm.
with that, you have to give up a little bit of control, right? When you're going to collaborate with someone
Mm-hmm.
else and
Mm-hmm.
they run the project, and you kind of have to be okay with that. So some people
Right.
are and some people aren't.
Yes. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But she forward things to me weekly and showing the progress and what's happening, and she wants me to prove it, and everything's going great. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Excited
neat.
about it.
That'd be neat.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
And
fortunate
so
right
I
now.
just another quick question. I'm just curious. So being the fact that you're so integrated into design, and obviously you're doing this big initiative at High Point,
Mhm.
do you follow design trends and then have that influence your work, or do you just kind of produce the work the way you want to and feel like there's going to be a market for it?
No, I have to follow the trends. I have to be up on what is the most recent, colors, what is selling, what the interior designers are placing. Absolutely. So right now, if you notice on following me, you're seeing a lot of metallics, soft
Hmm.
whites and creams, and like the one behind me here.
Yeah.
uh, that is the coloring. That is the palette that is working right now with them. Now, of course, the Pantone color of the year is out
Very
there.
Perry.
Very pretty.
I
So
love it.
yes, I'm working on that also. I'm not seeing that as much in design magazines or the postings, but
Hmm.
everything has settled down some. Where before in the past, and I think depending on what part of the country you're selling to, the palette changes. So I think in
Right.
Miami, when I was just doing the Miami show, it was bright, brilliant colors, very colorful, very strong things, that they tend to go for there. In another area, it might be a little lighter, softer palette.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it depends
Well,
on where you're going.
Well, and just to pull it back, that actually is when I had that amazing show in San Diego, I actually did research the decor and the colors, and because I
Mm-hmm.
realized, in Canada, we often have dark floors, our furniture is dark, so you can
Mm-hmm.
really, you can hold a dark blue or a dark black painting,
Mm.
whereas in San Diego, the color palette's much lighter, so it just becomes too dominant. So I
Yeah,
think
that's
that's really
true.
smart.
That was really smart to do that before San Diego. Absolutely.
But for you as well, like I think it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of, if you're going to invest that much money into something like that, into an
Yeah.
initiative, that obviously you want it to work out. And I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's the beginning of a long-term kind of
Oh
relationship
yeah.
or with the clients and with the show. You just want to make sure that you're going to
Mm-hmm.
make it worth your while from a business point of view, right?
Absolutely. So a number of the paintings that I might be sending over there this season right now for the spring show, it might change in October. And
Hmm.
that crate might be coming back come October. Another one might be heading over there. We're going to see. That's what we learn. And, monthly, right? We have to keep up on it, on what's happening.
Hmm.
So, yes, I do follow a lot of interior designers. Absolutely. Yeah. And keep in touch. So it's fun for me. That's part of the game
Yeah,
that I really love, which brings back to the custom work again, working with
hmm,
designers. So yeah, I enjoy it.
that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think it's a really good strategy. It's something that's been on my list for a while too, just to kind of
Mm-hmm.
actually really amp the contacts and the relationship with
Mm-hmm.
interior design companies. And I know we're
Yeah.
both with ADC as well, and that also
Yeah.
through Blink connects us to those people, which I
That's
think is a fun experience and
yeah. Yes. Yes. That's
makes it
right.
worthwhile.
That's right. Yeah. And it gets you traveling throughout the country, right?
Well, of course, and to different countries. I know.
Oh, yes. Yes. That's true. Yeah. Uh-huh. That's right.
And, and so right now, just to pull it full circle, you obviously have a lot of skills that you've kind of acquired over the years and stuff. And so now you're teaching. You said you're teaching adults,
I
young
teach
adults,
young
or
adults, teenagers mostly, young adults.
Mhm.
Um, some are in their 20s also, young adults that are on the spectrum. Yes. So they come to my studio, which is out of my home. And Yes, it is amazing. I try to, at the beginning, see what we're talking about. Is there any artistic skill at all or nothing? And
Hmm.
that's fine. That doesn't matter. Um, but working with them builds their confidence. You know, they're so proud when they see what they have either painted or drawn, you know, with color pencils, whatever the technique might be. They are so ecstatic when they produce a painting and bring it home to mom and dad. The
Hmm.
confidence is fantastic, which rolls over to the rest of their lives and everything they're doing. So
Hmm.
to build that up and to be involved and to help them as a person, I'm really enjoying. I had a student years back that a counselor approached me. His counselor approached me and said, I think this would be really fun for him, you know, to get involved in art and give him another, you know, another hobby to do or something, right?
Hmm.
So I had him come over. We kind of did a trial run and all, and he was so hesitant and so scared. You know, he was very shy young
Yeah.
man, you know. And I was like, I know we could do this, and I know you could do it well, and we'll have fun, you know, we'll have fun together. He would never drive. He 26 years old. He wouldn't drive because he was worried. He had his license in the
Hmm.
past, but he had a little fender bender. So nope, that set him off. No way. You know, was he ever going to drive again? Mother would always have to bring him to the lessons, and within 2 months, he was driving again and was very confident. And anything we done, we've created a book together. He wrote the story. We illustrated. He just has it published right now.
Oh
So
my
it is just,
God, that
it
is
is
so
amazing.
incredible.
It's amazing that, and the support he gets from the family and adding in the artwork really boosts his confidence and who he's become. So he loves it. He loves it. And you
And
know, a
so
lot of
it,
times I'm not just the art teacher. I'm their friend or their mom, whatever this
yeah.
student needs. And a lot of times I find that I'm their mom. I really do.
Yeah.
But it's good, you know. It works out so well, and I'm so pleased to do that. I really am, to give
And
back.
so is that how you kind of started doing students that are on the spectrum, or did you have another, like, it sounds like you almost sort of fell into this opportunity and realized how valuable it was,
Oh,
or was it something that
yeah.
was you were interested in ahead of time?
No, I had done private art lessons with kids and also teach at the local elementary school, like an afternoon project, you know, afternoon activity, pardon me. And
Hmm.
so I have always done that. You know, I always kept some of that going. Like I say, I've always had art one way or another in my life, you know, if it is lessons or selling or whatever it might be. Um, I have a friend who is a counselor to a number of these young adults. So she approached me and said, you would be so great, because I would go over to her house and we would do a little cooking event with her students. You know, they would have a social and they would be over at her place and she would ask, oh, come over, let's make macaroni cheese today or something. Because I
Yeah.
love to cook also. So she knows that. So she took advantage of that. And then, you know, she saw how great I was with the kids. So yeah, I got into not only teaching other children, but taking on some of her students. And it's just gone from there. Yeah, it's great.
It must be a pretty incredible feeling too to know that you've actually have really made a difference in someone's life,
Oh,
by
yes.
giving them the time and I think the patience and allowing them to kind of come out of their shell and create and then seeing where the
Mhm.
confidence is, like the story you were just telling,
Yeah,
it's just really wonderful.
it is. It is. It's a nice outlet for them too. You know, I had this one young woman, you know, her dad would drop her off and he would just give me the look. We knew at that point, like, it's been a rough morning type of thing,
Hmm.
right? It's been a bad day so far. And I'm like, I got it. It's okay.
Yeah.
I got it. And, you know, by the time she left, she was so happy and everything was great. So it's a great feeling. It really is a
Hmm.
great feeling. And he would come back and go, oh, thank you so much. Or text me afterwards, like, yay, I could go on with my day, you know, because he was with her
Yeah.
all day long. And that's a lot. It is a lot to handle. So to know that I could touch these people in that way and help out is really nice, is really nice. And when it comes
And,
from the parents, like I say, calling me
yeah.
or texting me or whatever and saying, hey, thank you for today.
You made a difference.
Yes, it's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And do you
wonderful.
find that having those classes and seeing the work that they do, does that inform your own work at all?
Not really.
Okay, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, no, and I think sometimes the question I was asking is because I wondered if sometimes you get so sucked into so many different things and so many influences, sometimes it's hard to retain your own voice. And so that's really where.
Yeah. No, not too much. What I'm more apt to do is when they come into my studio, because I'm teaching them right in the studio, they see all of my work here. And I'm more so influencing my techniques and what I'm doing at the time for them. I have a student that loves my abstracts. And you know how I was telling you, I use a different, like molding paint, like create the texture on the canvas.
Hmm.
And I just know he wanted to be a part of that, So one
Yeah.
day on a painting I was doing, it's like, go for it. I want you, this is what you do. Take all these tools, and put it all over. I want you to go ahead and make it happen and do that. And so he feels great about that. He's got that
Oh,
texture on that painting now,
yeah.
for his, for him just to be like, hey, I did that painting, you know.
So I guess you're using your art to create a roadmap for them, so they have some steps to start with until they build their own confidence.
Yes, yes. You always have a student, though, that wants to do their own thing, no matter what, or will not change techniques.
Yeah.
I have a student that loves colored pencil. He is not willing to do watercolors. And that's okay. That's all right. That's
Yeah.
what he likes and it makes him happy. That's what we do. And that's okay.
I think it's quite fascinating too, though, how people absorb the lessons or the teaching. Like I years and years ago, a friend of mine was a teacher at the School for the Deaf, and so I would go and I would do a day or 2 days when I teach every class, and you kind of go through. This is how I do it. This is the technique. This is what you can. This is to give you the tools and everything. And at the end of the day, when everyone holds their pieces up, you're like, they're so different. Like it's almost like, were you in my class? Which I love because I think they absorb it and they process it in such a different way.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well, thinking of that, let me tell you, the children, the young adults, I should say, are so much easier than 10 art and wine nights with 10 women. Okay. That's challenging.
Could it be because you drank too much wine, though?
Has a lot to do with the wine. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's for sure. Oh, yeah. They can be really stubborn. They don't listen as well as the children. The children do what they're told.
Yeah.
The adults are like, well, I can't do this. Can you just do this? And they start to get sloppier as the night goes
Well,
on.
I think I think they put themselves through a lot of judgment. Like, as I do these creative adventures, which are creativity retreats for non-artists. So and we drink wine. But I think that they have such an impression of what they have to do. And if they can't do that, then somehow they're failing as opposed to just enjoying the experience. So I think there's that barrier, I think, with adults sometimes to actually just letting loose.
Yeah.
And playing with the modeling paste. And even if it's not beautiful, if you've had fun, that's great.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I look at their art at the end of the evening and see the difference of what each one is. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. And many of them have come back and said, hey, I want you to teach me. I like this. It's very comforting. It's really wonderful just sitting here and painting. So, and we do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I find it interesting because a lot of the people that take our classes, and we do everything from painting to silk scarves and stained glass and a bunch of other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But it's interesting how many of them are in very technical, very analytic jobs. And I think that it's such a refreshing change for them to kind of use a very different part of their brain and realize, hey, I can do this. I actually do have some talent here that I never thought, because my whole life everyone told me I was good with numbers.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. If you're never exposed to it, you're never gonna try. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's fun. It's fun to give back. It feeds the soul as well. I'm sure you get a lot out of it as well personally.
Oh, yeah. It does. It absolutely does. And then I have to change gears and get right to my work. And do the business end. So yeah, it's a little juggling of all different types of angles, right, of the art career.
Yeah, which talking about the business end, and you're saying how
Hmm.
you weren't very good at marketing, but I really love the fact I just signed up for your online on your website for your
Oh,
newsletter,
yes. Thank you.
which I thought was great. It's always good to have an offer and 10% off. And I know you do prints and stuff, so that was good. But what I was
Hmm.
really impressed with is the email. That was such a personal email that was kind of like, tell me about, what you like about my art, or really creating that
Yeah.
conversation, even
Yeah.
though it's obviously I'm assuming it's automated, but really
Yeah.
personal. And I have to say, I really love that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, that is automated, of course. And then I received the email back, knowing that you have signed up, which I did see this morning. um, yes, thank you very much. And then I do personally, though, respond to everybody on that. If they have responded back to me and expressed what they do or what they find my art as being attractive to them, and having them sign up, that is definitely something that I am gonna build that relationship on then. So yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely, absolutely.
And
Hmm.
how do you have a sense of how many people actually respond back, like the percentage, or
20%
that's pretty
probably.
high. I
Maybe.
mean, that's a really
Mhm.
pretty awesome engagement level.
Yeah, yeah, I would say so. I do send, some are just like, oh, I think it's pretty. I mean, it depends. Some are
Hmm.
absolutely much more involved, and yeah, it's great. I get more response. So I try to send out to all my subscribers at least weekly. I like to send out something. If it's a special that I'm having, if it's the latest thing that I have going on in my career, or my latest show, like currently right now, I'm in the Palm Beach Art Show that's happening, Palm Beach, Florida. I will send out an email showing my latest works for that, whatever it might be. So I try
Hmm.
to keep that relationship going, which I do think, okay, so that is another marketing tip that I've received, to keep that going. So I do try, even though I'm not great with the
Yeah.
marketing, but I do try all of that. Hmm.
Oh, once a week is a lot. I
Absolutely.
mean, that's
Yeah.
a real commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I don't always succeed. I aim for once a week. It might be every other week. For
Well,
sure.
it's
For
better
sure.
it's better to aim for once a week instead of once every other week than to not think about it and send it once every 3 months, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, are there any other kind of business tips and stuff that you think have kind of helped you grow your business?
um, Building the relationship actually is. It's not I mean, I know we were just talking about that, but building the relationship with the clients has
Hmm.
found to me very successful. I think social media has helped me greatly. Uh, but and that so that the social media has linked my website, they're linking together. So yes,
Right.
then I have the subscribers that I can build a relationship on, or just through, if it's Instagram, Facebook, or whatever type of social media. That has become the important thing of the day now, right? So when
Hmm.
I started back up, it's very different. Years ago, I used to load up my car and go to with my portfolio with all the artwork, you know, and lug it into the interior designer studio and show them. It's different now. They don't want to do that. They
Yeah.
want to see everything, they want to see your website, and, it's just very different. So there was
Yeah.
a little bit of a learning deal on how to work, but now it's social media has been very strong for me.
Well, and you can reach so many more people too. I mean, there's only a
Yeah.
limit as to how many kilometers you can drive, miles you can drive, if you're
Yeah.
kind of putting your stuff in your car and driving
Yeah.
someplace, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And having the relationship. So, and just word of mouth. I get, oh, hey, my mother or my mother-in-law lives wherever,
Hmm.
um, wants a painting done. I showed her this one that you posted, and she wants it like this size, or can you add some of these colors? And I ship all over. And
Yeah.
I ship to Canada too, all the
I know I saw that in your thing. One of your
time.
collectors is from Alberta, I think it was.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And another client there, I just did two paintings for her, shipped those off. She's in Alberta also. Yep.
Oh,
And
cool.
got that through them. So it's all about relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that you cannot underestimate the power of people, through either social media or through collaboration or through, really listening to what a client needs and,
Yeah.
going down that path with them is really pretty rewarding, not only just emotionally, but also financially. Like it helps the business for sure.
Yes, for sure. For sure. And it's really great too to have a wonderful relationship with your with the different galleries that you're showing in. So this year, making a little bit of a change. I just joined with Art Gallery Pure in Plano, Texas. So I'm very excited about that. Yep.
Looks beautiful. I saw your pictures on Instagram.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm with Art Gallery Pure, and then ADC, like you and I both are, with ADC in Cincinnati. And then Stidel Contemporary Fine Art, which is in Palm Beach, where they have the big show going on right now. So
good.
Having great relationships with your gallery owners and representative is also very important too, besides our own. And so 2022 is going to be big. I have those 3 galleries, and the biggest part of High Point, North Carolina. That's on my own, of course, not through the galleries, but so I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to a successful year. Yeah.
Busy woman.
Successful year. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're almost out of time. So I always love to end my interviews with if time and money were no option at all, what would your big hairy ass goal be?
Wow. I don't know. I'm pretty happy right now. I'm pretty happy. But what would my goal be? To paint and travel the world? Probably.
Good goal.
Travel all over, paint, or at least photograph everything myself instead of looking at photographs online and painting from there. Photograph everything all over the world. I mean, I have traveled, but not in many years. But but traveling and painting, that would be it. Traveling with my family. Absolutely.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah. And painting.
Okay,
my
well,
artwork. Yeah.
I want to thank you very much for your time. I really enjoyed it. And good luck with High Point. I'm sure we'll follow you on Instagram and see how that goes, but it sounds really fascinating.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it. And I appreciate you reaching out, and I enjoyed our time together today.
Yeah, it was great. Well, hopefully we will see each other at the next ADC opening, or
that's right.
I'm sure we will run across each other at some point in time.
You're going to be down in San Diego?
I am, yeah. So my next show is, I've got one in Washington, then Toronto, and then Chicago in April.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then if you're going to be San Diego is September.
September, right? Yeah. I fly down there a handful anyway. It's not far. It's only an hour flight. So maybe I'll come down just to say hi.
And have a glass of wine.
That's right.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kate.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you. All right. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
And if anybody's interested in actually watching our portion of the Women X, what's it called? History of Joy? Sorry, completely blank there.
History of Joy. Women
That's right. There is a link to it on my bio, and it is really cool. So people should watch that. Yeah. Coming up, we've got
the film awards too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that would be really, There's two film awards I think it's going into, right? Yeah, so that's kind of neat.
That is.
I mean, we were a very small portion of it, but it's actually a very if you have the time to look at all the episodes, it was actually a really quite a fascinating play on how to really integrate joy in your life based on kind of the Dalai Lama's teaching, right? So that was a cool thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I gotta go. So happy painting. Get back to the studio, and we will talk to you later.
Thanks, Kate.
Bye-bye.
Bye.